Hey everybody, this is TJR, and it is that time of year. The holidays are approaching, and so are the reissues. They're coming fast and furious. Today I want to talk about the reissuing of Bruce Springsteen's album Nebraska, retitled for this edition, Nebraska 82 Expanded Edition. Now, if you know me, you know that I've not been a really big Springsteen fan. Unlike, say, Robert, whom I've done a lot of videos with, he's a huge fan of Springsteen. And I myself probably liked a handful of his hits, and that's about it. I understood his significance within rock and roll history, his significance as a songwriter, his stature as a songwriter. Intellectually, I got that, but emotionally, didn't really feel with it or connect with it all that much. Until, of course, not long ago, when I was subscribed to Vinyl Me Please, and their selection of the month was Nebraska. And so since it was the selection of the month, I said, sure, let's check it out. And I remember I got this album, I put it on the turntable, and almost within seconds, I just felt something really powerful as I listened to this. And it wasn't just the first track, it stayed with me for the whole album. And I just was like, wow, this is a great album. I've been living with this album for maybe about a year now and really enjoying it. So this reissue kind of does, stir my interest. Now, of course, this is being released to tie in with the release of the biopic, Deliver Me From Nowhere, which is a film, a biopic that is going to center on the recording and release of the Nebraska album. It's going to center on this one area. I've always thought that biopics are better when they focus on a certain aspect of a musician's career versus trying to cover their whole history. Also, I will add, for those of you who have criticisms regarding biopics, your criticisms are not unwarranted because they are not historically accurate. I have always said that I'm completely aware of this, but I don't look at biopics as history. I don't look at them as necessarily the whole truth. I look at them as cinema. And I think that's how you have to look at biopics. Documentaries will also, of course, always have a point of view, but I expect those to be more factual. I do not expect historical accuracy from biopics. I don't expect it from docudramas. It's cinema, that's all it is. Anyhow, though, with that said, though, let me talk a little bit about this reissue here, and I'm gonna read a little bit from the press materials and add my own commentary. With the story behind Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska set to be explored by the feature film Deliver Me From Nowhere, Nebraska 82 Expanded Edition gathers revelatory, unheard material from this prolific period, including the fabled Electric Nebraska sessions with the E Street Band and solo home and studio recordings. So I know that, of course, originally Springsteen had recorded these acoustic demos, but the idea was to take these demos and flesh them out with a band. And he felt dissatisfied with how the band recordings were sounding and just realized that he preferred these sparse acoustic recordings that he made basically on a small 4-track machine. 4-track machine technology was becoming accessible to the individual at this time during the 80s. I remember prior to that, even recording in a 4-track, you had to go into an actual recording studio and pay money to do it. But 4-track recording on a cassette tape was becoming available. And that's what my understanding is how he recorded a lot of this, and if not all of it. And then basically, decided, let's just go with this. Getting back to the press release here, joined by a 2025 remaster of the original album, plus a new performance film of all 10 Nebraska songs played in sequence. This will be on the Blu-ray that's part of this set. Springsteen's 1982 acoustic masterwork is augmented by 17 contemporary recordings, 15 previously unreleased, that were part of the groundswell of inspiration that shaped Nebraska and share its haunting themes. In addition to Electric Nebraska, the set's collection of Nebraska outtakes unearths Springsteen's solo rarities, including more songs from the original Nebraska home recordings. There are some titles here, none of which I've ever heard: Losin' Kind, Child Bride, and Downbound Train, and tracks from a one-off 1982 solo studio session, Gun in Every Home and On the Prowl. So now this is going to be released in two formats: 4LP plus Blu-ray, and 4 CDs plus Blu-ray. So I like the fact that the Blu-ray is included with each version, because in the past I noticed that if, say, a Blu-ray was released, it would only be with the CD version and not with the LP version. And I would always talk about that and say, you know, LP fans like Blu-ray too. I like LP, I like CD, I use streaming, and I like hearing Blu-ray mixes and Blu-ray audio as well. And so, yeah, I was always disappointed that they wouldn't do that. I'm seeing now that more of these reissues are included in the Blu-ray with both, and I think that's a great thing. Available for streaming now is a previously unreleased version of Born in the USA, which was originally written alongside Nebraska. I've listened to this. It's really cool because it's a much darker, much more aggressive. Springsteen himself described it as more punk. I don't think that's an inaccurate description. It's interesting to listen to this and think what might have been, and I think it's going to be interesting to hear the Nebraska, the ones with the E Street Band, and hear how did that sound with the band. Anyways, I'm always fascinated by this stuff, the behind-the-scenes stuff, the alternate versions that didn't happen. I know not everybody is, but I always am. So I'm kind of very fascinated by this. I have not lived with this album for a long time. Usually when I buy these album box sets, it's because I've lived with the album a very long time. I know it extremely well, and so I'm ready to explore it deeper with these box sets. Here I'm still living with this album, but I think I will listen to it on streaming and then decide if I want to pick it up. And if I do, I'm probably going to pick up the CD version. Anyways, those are my thoughts on this one here. By the way, news about these reissues sometimes gets to me kind of late, sometimes not. So are there any reissues of this nature that you would like to hear me talk about? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you like these videos, be sure to hit like and subscribe so you never miss a video. A big thank you to my Patreon supporters. Patreon supporters do get exclusive videos not available on this channel. And very shortly, you're going to see some recommendations kind of floating overhead here for other videos that I've created, some of them more of a video essay nature, others maybe with live performance featuring yours truly. I hope you will check those out. And I just want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.